Hello everyone, and welcome to this grounding, nourishing yin practice. Let's begin on our backs in shavasana. You won't need any props, but you're welcome to use props for this practice. So just coming down onto your back in a gentle way, extending the legs out long, and just letting your shoulders soften, letting the arms get heavy. And just beginning to feel the weight of your body connected with the earth. Coming into deeper connection with your breath. And feeling the fluidity of your breath as it moves through your body. And feeling a softening in the jaw as you allow the head to be supported. Allow yourself to feel the earth underneath the back of your skull. Maybe gently wiggling the jaw from side to side. Allowing the tongue to fall to the lower palate of the mouth. And then bringing your awareness into the shoulders. Feeling the shoulders beginning to soften and relax down into the earth. And just noticing the body continuing to get heavier and heavier as the breath continues to slow. And just allowing that heaviness to trickle all the way down into the wrists. Letting the fingertips curl in. And then feeling all the points of contact with the spine to the earth. All the way down to the backs of the hips. And just letting the low back have that natural curve. And then noticing the legs getting heavy as the earth continues to rise up to meet you. As the earth continues to rise up to support you. Continue to feel the expansion of your inhale. Continue to feel the expansion of the exhale, noticing spaciousness with each exhale. Releasing what is no longer serving you. And welcoming in what you want to cultivate more of in your life. Especially today on October 21st, new moon in Libra. It's a great time to set intentions, particularly around balance and harmony within relationships, within yourself. So breathing that in of what you want to cultivate more of in terms of balance in your life. As you inhale, let's draw the right knee in towards your shoulder. Bring the hands around the shin and just gently squeeze that right knee in, letting the shoulders soften. Maybe letting your gaze gently turn over to that left shoulder. And getting a slight opening on the front of your right shoulder and neck. And just allowing the grip of your hands to soften. Noticing that creates a gentle softening in the shoulders. And just continuing to feel the ground underneath your body. To feel the ground underneath you, supporting all the points of contact. When the body can soften into those places, it can bring more breath in, more expansion. We come back to our center and release what is not needed to be held, to be contracted. And gently turn your gaze back through center. Bring the hands around the back of your right thigh and just begin to bend and extend your right knee. Moving nice and slow, just bending and extending. And just a couple more times here. Good. And then beginning to reach over to the outer edge of that right knee with your left hand. And gently guiding that knee over to the left as you stack the hips. Coming onto the outer left hip and leg. And then reaching your right arm out to a half T. And just coming to a point in this shape where you can have a steady flow of breath. Maybe there's some sensation in that right hip and maybe in the low back, but not enough that the breath is restricted. So if the breath is restricted, that just means you need to ease off slightly. And in yin, we don't want to come into the deepest variation right away. We want to give ourselves time to connect with the shape, to stabilize, and then allow the stillness to take us deeper. Allow the weight to drop deeper over time as we build that trust and connection with the shape that we're in. So just being gentle, moving really gentle here. We'll be in each shape for about 2 to 5 minutes. Maybe if it feels good, letting your gaze come over that right shoulder. And just notice what happens with the left shoulder if it wants to lift. Just keeping that whole present awareness on yourself from head to toe. Continuing to keep the breath nice and slow. And noticing on that left side, the hip and the whole left side that's connected to the earth. See if you can let that side of your body drop down a little more into the ground. Maybe noticing an ability to open up more into that right hip. Or reach out more with that right arm. When we can let the parts of ourselves that are connected with the ground to soften and release down, then we can create a softening and release in other parts of ourselves, allowing more breath to flow. We build that embodiment of support and stability by bringing awareness to connection with the earth in any shape. Even at any time, even when you're walking, even when you're standing, dropping down into the earth to feel that embodiment of support so you can let yourself release unnecessary parts of contraction that might be consuming your energy. Good. Let's turn the gaze back to center. Gently draw your right knee in towards your shoulder. Give it a slight squeeze and curl the forehead up. And slowly releasing down. Good, and begin to extend that right leg long. Let's draw the left knee in towards the chest. Just give that knee a squeeze. Let the hands begin to soften on the shin and let your shoulders relax down. Allowing the jaw to be soft. Allowing the breath to be fluid. And see if you can feel the backs of your shoulders connected to the ground, helping to let them roll back to expand the chest a bit more for the breath to move. Good, and then begin to bring your hands around the back of your left thigh and gently begin to bend and extend your left knee. Gently bending and extending your left knee. Maybe your gaze turns over that right shoulder to get a nice stretch on the left side of your neck. Then beginning to draw your gaze back to center. Let's come to bend that left knee. You can draw the knee over to the right, coming onto your right hip. And just extending your left arm out to a half T. And just letting yourself soften here. We're not coming into the deepest variation right away. And your gaze can either be up towards the sky or over that left shoulder. Just allowing your body to adjust in this new shape. Feeling a deep-rooted connection to the earth. Especially on the right side. Maybe noticing the whole right side of your body and the weight of that right side really dropping down, even all the way up into that right shoulder. And then maybe noticing the hips can stack a little more and the twist can come a little deeper with that softening. And just continuing to let the breath move fluidly. Slowing the breath down, trying to find that even inhale and even exhale. Maybe feeling the breath move all the way down into the low back area. Letting that part of the body connect with your breath. Notice if the jaw is tensing and just see what it's like. Maybe draw your gaze back to center or just ease off in the twist slightly. Maybe letting the shoulders continue to roll back and down. Just taking a couple more breaths here. Drawing your gaze back to center. And drawing that left knee back into your shoulder. Landing the spine down and just giving that knee a slight squeeze in. And full exhale. Extending that left leg long. Let's turn over onto your left side into a fetal position. Just taking a breath or two here. And then beginning to extend that top leg long as you press into the ground and push yourself up. We'll come to meet in a tabletop. So grounding into the palms. Let's take a slow inhale into your cow. Lift the tailbone, drop the belly, and open the heart. Lift your gaze forward. And as you exhale, scoop the tailbone, lift up through the sides of the waist, and gaze to your navel. Inhale, come through center. And just begin to extend your right leg back long. Rock back and forth on the right toes. And then begin to draw your right foot to land on the outer edge of your right hand. You can tuck your left toes, lift the knee, and shift back to lower, and that will create more of an opening on your left hip flexor. You can also come up on tented fingers to roll the shoulders back. Staying in your lizard lunge. Feeling all the weight of that right foot softening down. Just let gravity take hold here in this shape. Maybe gently drawing your right knee to connect with your bicep. And feeling the weight of your hands. Notice the spine, if it's quite rounded, just let yourself come up slightly. Otherwise, you can stay here, or at any time, if you wish to lower onto your forearms, you can. Just give yourself time in this shape to come into the deeper or deepest variation. So letting yourself connect with the sensations of the body through loving awareness. And feeling the breath gently moving towards your hips. And when you breathe in, if it's meeting resistance in the hips, if the breath is meeting resistance in the hips, just let the breath slightly ease off from the hips. And just feeling the sensations, but just giving the breath and the hips some spaciousness. So it doesn't need to be forced in that direction, but it's just moving in that direction with awareness. Maybe noticing if you want to lift from the back of that left hip, or you can let that hip drop down more. Just seeing the different sensations of the shape and the positioning. Noticing what gives you the most breath, the most fluidity of your breath. And use the audible exhale to help the energy flow and move where it needs to go through the body. Exhaling out what you don't need to carry forth with you. And inhaling in that intention of balance. Where are you wanting more balance in your life? And how can you cultivate that on your practice, in your practice on your mat right now? Maybe it's gently easing off to create more balance in the shape. Maybe finding a new place of sensation where you're just getting enough of the discomfort, but you're also actually experiencing joy through that. So you're not so deep in it. Or maybe you're needing to go a bit deeper and finding your edge, maybe creating that challenge for yourself. Letting yourself feel the ease, but also balanced with the discomfort. And just taking a couple more breaths here. And letting yourself come onto your hands, rising up and slowly drawing that right foot back, coming into your tabletop. Let's take an inhale into your slow cow and exhale into your cat. Good. Coming through neutral spine. Extend your left leg back long and just rock back and forth on the toes, slowing the breath down. And then beginning to land your left foot to the outer edge of your left hand. And you can tuck the right toes, lift the knee, and slowly shift back to lower down. And just completely letting that left foot be heavy, connecting with the ground beneath it. Feeling your right knee and shin supported. Maybe your left knee gently connects with your left bicep. Rolling the shoulders back, the chest is nice and open, staying with your breath. And breathing the breath towards the hips here. And finding that balance and connection with the breath towards the hips. So we're not forcing it into the hips in any way. It's meeting the hips with that balance. And if it's meeting resistance in the hips, just giving the hips a bit more spaciousness with it. You can still feel the hips and still draw the breath towards the hips and have that connection. And that is giving yourself, particularly the hips here, that love and respect that you deserve. Maybe deepening into the shape in time, or staying where you are. You don't have to come down as deep as I go ever. This is your practice, so listen to your body and let your breath be your guide. The breath, remember, is restricted. That just means you need to ease off. And just continuing to keep a steady rhythm with your breath. Notice your left foot if you're dumping weight in certain places, and see what it feels like to just let the whole left foot ground. And continuing to bring that gentle breath to the back or to the hips. Maybe also feeling it connect into the back of your heart space. And gently beginning to come onto one hand and then the other. Rising up nice and slow. Take an inhale in. And full exhale out. And gently drawing your left foot back. Take an inhale into your cow. And an exhale into your cat. Good. Coming through neutral spine. Let's bring the knees wide and big toes to touch. Draw your hips towards your heels. And walk your hands out any amount. Maybe bringing your third eye down towards the ground. You can also bring your elbows wide and just let your forehead come onto your wrists. And just letting the weight of the hips draw back towards the heels. Letting yourself feel the connection to the ground underneath your left and right shin and knee. Underneath the elbows. Just dropping into that support beneath you and noticing the body getting heavier in those places. Notice maybe when the body gets heavier in those places, the hips tend to drop back even more towards the heels. And this time bringing the breath to wrap around the whole back of the body, into the back of the lungs. Towards your low back. And feeling your head heavy. Feeling the forehead dropping down into whatever support is beneath it, whether it's your hands or the ground. And just continuing to keep the breath moving fluidly here. Taking about 5 more breaths in this nourishing balasana, child's pose. Maybe feeling the sides of your belly connecting with your thighs. Just noticing the rise and fall of your belly on those places, those parts of yourself. Continuing to feel the head dropping into whatever support is beneath it. Releasing, holding in the neck. Maybe the head gently shakes side to side. And beginning to gently walk the hands back towards the knees as you slowly curl yourself up. Take a big inhale and an exhale out through the mouth. Coming into a comfortable seat and just bringing the palms down on the knees to ground. Feel your sit bones connected and rooted to the earth as your spine lengthens tall, the shoulders soften. Coming back to that intention for this new moon in Libra, that intention of balance, and noticing where you feel balance in your body. For me, I really notice it in the hips and the shoulders, but you might feel it in different places. So just noticing where there's that equilibrium in your body. And that even flow of breath moving through your body. Bringing your hands together, heart center. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Thank you for practicing with me. I do have a live yin class coming up next Tuesday, October 28th from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. It's $12.50 for a drop-in, and for members on my online studio, you just get it as a part of your membership. So I hope to see you there. And next Tuesday, the moon lands in Capricorn. So Capricorn focuses on the knees and the backbone. So we'll be working with tending to the knees a lot in our practice, in the live practice for next Tuesday, and as well as a bit of spinal mobility and nourishment there. So I hope to see you there if this resonated with you, and I hope you enjoy these videos and feel good after all of them. Namaste.